And our top story now this hour, President Jacob Zuma and the ANC's top 6 leaders are due to meet today, reportedly, to discuss the president's future. Zuma has faced calls from within the party to step down since Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa succeeded him as leader of the ANC in December. The immediate issue is to decide whether Zuma, as head of state, will deliver the State of the Nation address on Thursday. Yesterday, Ramaphosa said the party's leadership will not tolerate corruption among newly elected leaders. Ramaphosa and the top 6 are in Limpopo, where they are meeting traditional leaders.
A warm and colorful welcome for the ANC's top 6. They first stop the Bavenda Royal Palace. Gifts were exchanged during the meeting, among others, cattle and blankets. Ramaphosa says the new leadership is ready to serve the masses and will not tolerate corrupt leaders.
If there are wrong things that are done, we must act immediately to root out those wrong things in the African National Congress.
The leadership also met Batsonga chiefs. Ramaphosa told them the ANC is moving swiftly on economic transformation and will ensure that land is returned to the rightful owners.
Lots of land was taken away from our people, and the conference almost unanimously said, we want our land back.
The ANC leadership will meet the Balobedu Royal Council. They will conclude their Limpopo engagements at Sekhukhune.
And now the SABC's acting political editor, Sophie Mokoena, has been following this story very closely, and she now joins me in the studio. Sophie, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Now, do you know exactly when and where this meeting will be held?
My source tells me that around 5 o'clock this afternoon, the ANC leadership, members of the top 6, 5 of them will meet President Jacob Zuma to discuss the pending discussion about the transition. And clearly the transition is about what happens to President Jacob Zuma. Does he continue to be the President of the Republic until the elections 2019? Many are saying it's a liability, and therefore he must give way to the current leadership so that they can start looking at how they turn the corner, particularly after the ANC performed dismally in 2016. So my sources tells me that it's in the afternoon today. But of course, the Deputy President of the Republic or the President of the ANC will not be there. He's currently in Limpopo.
Why not? Is it because he doesn't want to be part of this, or is it because...
I think it's a strategic move by the top 6. You'd recall when President Thabo Mbeki was recalled, President Zuma wasn't there. It was the Deputy President of the ANC, Kgalema Motlanthe, and of course it was Gwede Mantashe, the Secretary General of the ANC. So I think the intention then was to ensure that it's not about President Zuma delivering the message that was going to benefit him. It's the same issue now, or an argument now. Don't send Ramaphosa, the Ramaphosa who is supposed to take over. Try and ensure that he's not part of this in terms of conflict of interest, so that people can't say Ramaphosa removed Zuma. The same way people didn't say Zuma removed Thabo Mbeki. It was the ANC decision. So in this case, again, I think the argument is that it must be the ANC decision, not an individual decision.
But when you look at the composition of the top 6 then, and what it is now, do you think that the leaders of or the top 5 will go with a united stance to President
Well,
Jacob
the balance of force in terms of top 6 favors Ramaphosa, and we've had people making pronouncement. Yes, Ace Magashule and Jesse Duarte might be sharing the same view, but you have the Deputy President, that is Didi Mabuza, who's very clear in terms of unity and who is not prepared to be a factionalist, who wants the ANC to be a better party leading to 2019. And for him, it's about the interest of the party and about the interest of the country, not individual. And therefore, you also have the national chairperson who shared the same view. You have the Treasurer General who shared the same view. Therefore, it doesn't really matter whether you have 2 people who hold different view, but the reality is you have the majority who share the same view.
And talking of the unity bloc, there are those that say maybe for the sake of unity, the top 5 then might ask President Jacob Zuma then to continue until the end of his term. Is that a possibility at all? In the name of unity?
You know, we don't know. The reality is we don't know what is the position and the message they are going to communicate. They keep saying that it's about transition. What transition? Whether to leave before 2019 elections or to continue until 2019, we don't know. And it is for that reason, after this meeting, I am definitely sure the ANC will issue a statement to clarify the issue, because there's huge interest, not only within the party structures, not only in South Africa, not only on the continent, even around the world. The investors, people want to know by Monday what is going to happen with President Zuma. People want to know. They really want to know.
Talking about that clarity there are those that are suggesting that this meeting may be about not President Jacob Zuma leaving the union buildings, but about who will address the State of the Nation address on Thursday.
I think for me, I might be wrong, unless President Zuma agree to step down immediately. I still feel that President Zuma will deliver the State of the Nation. What is going to happen there during that sitting, I can't really predict, but the reality is I think it's too late for, you know, in terms of the State of the Nation. I think it's a done deal. He will, or he is the man expected to do that.
Okay.
What will transpire on that day, I can't confirm, because you have lots of information. The opposition is saying it's not going to happen. Some ANC members are saying it shouldn't happen. Therefore, I don't know what will be the environment or what will happen there. But I think he is going to deliver the State of the Nation, unless he decides to voluntarily or to assist the ANC right now and say, I am stepping down. And
let's talk a bit about the opposition parties, and with reference to SONA. You have just alluded to the fact that they do not want President Jacob Zuma to address them come Thursday. But what options then do they have?
Well, obvious, they will protest, and before he starts on Thursday, they are going to raise the matter inside the House, and we don't know how the Speaker of Parliament or presiding officers will handle the issue, but obvious, there's going to be an objection. And how long will that objection take, or how will that argument last in terms of to and fro the Speaker and oppositions? We don't know. Secondly, the other option they have, the Speaker has already agreed the motion of no confidence will be debated on the 22nd of February. That's another opportunity. And some have indicated that they've already lobbied members of Parliament. They are even brave to say that some ANC members have agreed to support them. And that is why the EFF wants the vote to be a secret vote again. The last option is impeachment.
But now, do you, is that a real possibility, given the stage at which we are now, that we can possibly say that by the 22nd of February, President Jacob Zuma will still be in Parliament for that motion?
I can't predict. I don't know. It depends on President Zuma himself. He has indicated earlier on his views in terms of a recall. Let's take a listen at this clip.
In the event the new leadership collective say maybe step aside, would you accept that?
If not, that one, my brother, the leaders should be very careful about. If other people, for an example, feel that this particular president, we think we still need him to do X, Y, Z, and you come with that kind of proposal to say we think you should come down, and others think no, why not? You are creating a conflict issue.
What do you read? Clearly, it's, you can hear that he's not saying I'm ready to go. Should I be requested to do that? He's now holding a different view, contrary to when Mbeki was recalled. When he was addressing the 100 years centenary of the ANC, delivering a Thabo Mbeki lecture, he went to town to commend President Mbeki, who had leave the office without even fighting, saying he did the right thing. But with him, he says, no, you have to be careful. Therefore, that is why I'm saying I think President Jacob Zuma himself is the only person who can assist the ANC and the ANC humiliation, or, you know, this process to be smooth and not painful to ANC members and the country at large.
And talking of exactly that, do you think that maybe during today's meeting, President Jacob Zuma now will table his conditions for leaving office, and what will they be, should they be any?
I can't predict the conditions, but I am sure he is going to say something. I don't know what. And
looking at what happened back in 2008 and now, is there a real possibility of another split or another splinter group from the ANC going its way should the president go?
I can't predict, but the reality is that split will not gain traction in terms of going to the elections 2019. Whoever starts a political party will not get enough support. Right now, I can't see a space for a split, because if, let's say, President Zuma decides to go his way and start a party, it's not going to gain traction nationally. Definitely it won't. If Ramaphosa decides to go his way, start his own party, there is no way that that party will do well. I think I don't foresee an ANC split led by senior ANC members. And yes, the sympathizers, people outside there, I mean, we saw on Friday people calling themselves hands off Jacob Zuma. They can start something, but these are not your credible ANC leaders that we are familiar with. I can't see that happening.
But just yesterday also, Sophie, we saw people like Bekitele really digging into the Secretary General of the ANC. What do you read from that? Is that not a possible, you know, the possible start of a chasm within the top leadership of the party?
As long as President Zuma is there and still in charge of the country, these issues will continuously happen, because people will do things in his name and others will retaliate. Therefore, I think maybe the sooner the ANC realize that they have to rally around the current leadership, the better, because then you'll be able to avoid such attack or public pronouncement, where now Kele was responding to what Magashule said. I mean, the Secretary General goes to a public platform, he talks about McDonald's, when we know exactly what McDonald's is about. He talks about, 5 years, in 5 years you'll be gone, but he's part of that leadership.
True.
What does that mean?
Now, finally, Sophie, you were in Addis Ababa at the AU summit, and you spoke to former President Thabo Mbeki on the sidelines of that summit, specifically about the ANC. What was his view about the current state of the governing party?
Well, he raised the issue that was raised by veterans in terms of there's a document within the ANC that is called Eye of the Needle, that is supposed to be a document that guides the membership to elect the leadership. And he questioned the fact that when you look at that document, some of the current leaders within the top 6 and in the NEC in general, the question is, did they really pass the test of that document? And then secondly, he indicated that the current leadership should be given space and time to do what they've promised to do, particularly on issues of unity and rooting out corruption. And he indicated, I remember I asked him twice, he said, when I said, do you stand ready to support them? He says, yes, I stand ready to assist where necessary. And I asked him what will be his first message to Ramaphosa should he be able to meet with Ramaphosa. I said he will indicate that they stand ready to assist where necessary in terms of unity of the party, but also the issue of rooting out corruption, but not saying he wants to be an advisor. No, he didn't say that. He was just saying as a member of the ANC, and we know he's a member of the ANC. He's an ex-official member of the NEC.
Yeah.
You know, he's part of the ANC. He's ANC. He's like your Winnie Mandela. They may hold different views in terms of what's happening in their party, but it's very difficult for them to divorce themselves from the ANC, the only organization they know from, childhood. Recall he joined the ANC when he was 9 years, selling bottles of Coke to buy a membership. So some of these things are very difficult to, to remove yourself from. So it was basically that, but he didn't really, say much.
All right, we have to end it there. Thank you. And we have a big news day that is brewing. And as soon as you have the outcome of that meeting, I hope you will let our viewers know. And we will, of course, let you know right here on SABC News. That there was our acting political editor, Sophie Mokoena.